Broadcasting 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're going live again on Facebook. This afternoon, we're going to deviate a little bit from the four gentlemen. I try to stay the same, but we'll change from flower and birds to landscape, but still with plant blossom. That's the idea. Okay. Because I see some very unique brush in the classroom. Can you bring that? That one, yeah. Stippling technique. I got inspired to do that.
Do we have permission to take a picture?
Yes, you can take a picture. I'm also on the internet. So you can see the brush I have for landscape is very different. So any old brush it's good for landscape to create the texture, the special effect. Okay, so let's get started. Besides, I would like to use color. So okay, the easiest is just go with the watercolor because they don't. You can just use from the palette. This is my travel palette. I have all the colors here. I put a piece of wet. Yeah, I hate the color got dry, that kind of thing. So I just use watercolor, right? And besides, we use dry mounting. So this color, Daniel Smith color, or Winston Newton color, they're not designed for wet mounting. Okay, but dry mounting is okay. Tomorrow we're going to mount it if it's good. Okay, and for the ink, you can also use my travel, ink is this. So I don't have to. I think I have leftover one from the morning.
Just ink paste.
Yeah, let me see if I can see my palette on the internet. Okay, good. So we are all good. Dark first, right? But keep in mind the white. When you do dark, you're negatively painting the white. The white become clouds, become water. What else?
Sky.
Sky and trees, like a blossom, like snow on the tree. Also, okay. Let's try this brush.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with this brush, so I would. Okay, let me get some dark ink also, so it will be really dark.
She assures us no horses died.
That's right.
Oh, this is the horse man.
Horse tail.
Horse tail. Oh.
So it's very rough.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, my husband makes that for me. Yeah.
Okay. You see, this paper does not smell. So that you start from very dark and make it light later if needed. This is my focus. So this is the darkest part. Now I will add water and more water and more water to make it lighter and lighter and lighter. So just for testing, this is your brush, and we have a new brush. It's made for stippling, or stabbing technique. It's called Fubash landscape style stippling. Fubash, yeah. See. This is it's a brand new brush, right? I had never used it. It comes with the wrapping still. But we have the new ones. I improved the design. Now it's shorter, so it's better for stippling. Yeah.
That's the stippling brush?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Is it a stiff hair brush?
It's a stiff hair, yeah, like a badger. Badger hair brush. And you can also cut your your brush, make it or ruin it, just like that. Yeah.
Almost like a stencil brush.
Yeah. But stencil is too smooth. So this brush is very. I cut some part off. So this is. And these little pockets of white. That's important. Okay, let's use another brush I'd like to introduce. If you use only one brush, this brush is a little loose. You know, when we have climate change, they come sometimes. Let me just cure it with tape.
Beside.
Here, yeah. It's very common that when the brush is coming, it's very easy to just fix it for now, but you can use any glue to fix that.
Is it splitting?
This is a combination brush, right? I can use for any purpose. It's a versatile brush. We have this for $6 or $8. I think it's a more advanced design. Yeah.
Mixed hair.
Yeah, mixed hair brush. So this is good for anything. I try to make a plum tree or cherry, whatever. You don't have to really make difference between cherry and plum. I think they might be different with peach. But if you do very close up, like flowers, you have to really tell the difference. The cherry has long stems, right? We all know that. The plum has shorter stems. So this is the plum or cherry, whatever. And advantage of the rice paper, is to paint on both sides. Have you tried?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Color on the back.
Yeah, color on the back, opaque on the back. But you can also put white on the front and pink on the back. That's what I try to do. Okay, this is the. Just try to create a shape that negative painting the crown definite shape, a little bit hard edge, a little bit, not too much, right? That helps a little bit. Okay, now you can start the white. You can use a clean brush. When you have more brush, you don't have to wash it. Especially with tender color like that, you cannot really change. So you keep a brush with white or light pink. It helps. I try to do it with. This is my. One of the earliest techniques I learned when I was 15. I made a painting and with landscape. It's a spring landscape with a bridge, Yangtze River bridge, in the distance, and the foreground is one of our famous, scenery, Plum Hills in spring. So that's the technique I learned from a master. And I repeated this painting like 23 times before entry. So I really got to, I learned a lot through the whole process of creating a painting. I just, learned how to compose a landscape painting, how to do the building with a ruler or the perspective, like something. It's in what we call the realistic, socialist realism. Kind of you do contemporary, but some techniques are very old like this. But we use bright colors, more bright, brilliant colors than traditional.
Are you making big and small sizes, or all same?
What's your question?
Those dots.
Oh, bigger and small. Yeah, I try to. It should be the same, but I try to make it with rhythm. Rhythm. It's like a drum dots. Some big and small, but try not to repeat, not to overlap. Yeah, I think that's. Some parts, like crown, is more dense, like whiter or in light. Some shady part is sparse. So dense and sparse. Some dense on the top. Some in the front you can even cover some of the trunk. Okay, I think we can stop that. And you can add a little dark accent, like the stamen kind of color. So you can use dark rouge. I try not to. Yes. Okay, which is just.
What is the brush that you just used?
Oh, this is the combination brush. No, not this. This is the basic brush, basic sheep hair brush. Yeah, let's just use that. I think we can keep using this, just for keep the consistency. You can use crimson. Or you can just use orange, and this get complicated. And some yellow ochre, whatever, just to make it muted. So just like the tender leaves, and.
Are you putting that on top of the white?
I cannot see the white.
More dots.
Anywhere.
Yeah, traditionally you put a rouge, just like rouge. I make it more like a Japanese cherry, so it's lighter and more white, just like Japanese.
Yes.
So you put more orange and a little bit, not orange. It should be green. So let's do the raw sienna or burnt amber or something. You can also. I try not to use green because it's too early for green. Maybe a little bit. Just a suggestion, like a suggestion of a warm orange color. Okay. On the distance, I try to do the like of water here around lots of pond, lake, so you can use very light. Just use a little light gray, blue kind of thing. So where's my water? Oh, here. So I just dry the brush and put water in it. Right, that's it. Yeah, just and before the trees get dry, you can you'll see you can put some mist, to break it to make it with flow of qi. What is it called? Just watch this part. You can put houses, maybe dwellings, in the distance or hidden in the. Anyway, that's optional. You can put a little distant tree without too much branch, just the trunk. let's just make it easy. And let's do the water birds, migration birds or something. We could do that at the last. But it's, if you do it now, you have to wait to dry before you wash the atmosphere. So let's wait and let's see. I start washing the background. Okay. So the first wash is just ink wash or water, just to solid, kind of eliminate the unwanted white. So you can use clean water to create, let's see, like a beam of sunshine. Sometimes I just do this, and I guide the water. Yeah, just like it will. Then you create the path for the beam like that. So it will. Clean brush. You know what? Water management wise, if you want the white part to be white, when you wash the trees, you wet that with more water, so the water will not invade. It will protect the white area. Mm-hmm. The water only goes to where it's drier, right? And this is I show you the paper how it works. This paper is absorbent, but not smear, right? So that's it will smear, but takes a long time. So maybe 20 minutes, you'll start to so I kind of guide it to where I want. You can have. There's no mountain here, right? I try to just stay with trees. Okay, let's do some sky. We can use some watercolor. Sky would be like a like cloudy sky. Have some yellow base and then you can spray the paper to make it more less stroke. But you can also just use more water. I use more water on the tip of the brush, so it has a softer touch. See, I always do this immediately before I touch the paper. I touch the pen is more in the heel when I do this. Right. You can leave white for clouds. So we try to create a watercolor feel. Eventually, let's see if I can do that. I learned some techniques recently myself online with some artists. So I try to apply the palette, watercolor palette here. This is Hoban watercolor. Okay, that's I consider like the yellow, ochre, that kind of.
Can you wet melt with
the
Holbein?
Yeah, I think for this light wash, no problem. But maybe with the heavy colors, there might be smearing problems. So let's see what we can do with the water. I would since this is dry enough, I hope. Yeah, we can paint it over now. Just wash the trees with pink, right? So use this is a crimson kind of, or rose madder, or I forgot what's exactly, whatever. You know that better than me. So I try to show the texture also. If you watch the background on the back, and the white wings will show in the front. Yeah, that's the. I don't use white on this side. The white is on the front. Then I don't worry about it. Since it's dry, I don't worry about destroy the dots. Okay. Let me cannot see it. I just do it on the front. Let's see how it looks like. Let's see how it looks like. It should be lighter after. Even lighter, yeah. You can add more because this is really not absorbent paper, so I have to maybe apply a little stronger than I want. To you see, this is if you do it on the front, it will cover the white. Yeah. Just make it just more than you want. Okay. I think it's just a hint of
Sweet.
Hint of pink. Yeah. Okay. Let me. I can just leave it black because it's a classical color contrast. The pink and the dark leaf flower.
But you could go in and put green on the back.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, exactly. You can do that. It may be too much color because evergreen looks dark in the winter. Try to emphasize on that color so there's no other color needed. I just maybe just add a little trees there. Yeah, just make it more oriental, not watercolor. So use ink instead of color is the idea. And I'll wait until it dries. I'll do a little. I can do the blue sky, but maybe too much. You think? Yeah. So I'll just add a little flying heron or acorn, whatever, birds to finish. Let me see if I can do it. What?
And what kind of a tree is that?
Could be just bushes. Oh, that's a good question. You can usually do a few trunk to suggest the kind of tree or bush. Give a suggestion. But I think in this case we already have the trunk. We don't have to do anything further.
Cherry or plum.
Oh, okay.
The cherry is already giving the scale. There's a theory that in Chinese painting, the tree should be less than the mountain. The mountain should be higher than the tree, and the man should be smaller than the tree. Yeah. So the perspective is not the eyesight view point, but of the artist, but the what they call the choose. So scale is very important. You keep the figure small and keep the tree small. But this one is more a Western approach. So this foreground is too big. In Chinese, you could be smaller. And when you paint, the first Chinese painting is called Yu Chun. It's like this, the same scene, spring in a lake. In the Sui dynasty, the first landscape painting was a distant view of like a park with a river in the middle and both banks and boats in the center. And you will see little figures on left side and right side in the same size. Not in the like this the tree becomes smaller. The same tree scattered on hills. That's a Chinese view. It's more like a illustration of a tourist map. Like a
Okay.
You keep the proportion that way. That's the Chinese landscape idea. Whereas the Western watercolor scenery painting, we don't really paint a real place, but ideal kind of mind landscape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's see if we have. I think we need to let it dry and add some birds. But we can also paint some color with the water. But I think the water standardly is white, so we just leave that white. We can do a little reflection to add to the water, to suggest the water. That's probably the most I would do. You cannot really see on the black. It will show after mounting. So with some experience, you know what you're doing.
Well put.
And I can do some birds, maybe swimming there also later. So tomorrow we'll add the birds if we don't have time. I think we will have time when it's dry. Finish. So you can before you go, I can touch up some other subject matters. Maybe the chrysanthemum. Or do you want to try this? I haven't finished yet. So that's yeah.
And then do the chrysanthemum now?
Yeah, I can do the chrysanthemum to finish. Let it dry here. Let it dry. So you can watch it evolve. Okay.
And what's the name of this paper?
This is mulberry number 2. Yeah, this is the number 2. Okay, so it has the long fibers. Let me see. I just do it on the
Cloud dragon.
I think I do it on the table so people can keep watching this.
Or Unryu. Unryu is Japanese.
That's the name of the paper.
Yeah, this is number 2. This is number 1. Let me just use number 1 to compare. This is good for the flowers. Number 1 is smoother. Number 2 has the fiber in it. You can see that. Yeah. So the chrysanthemum flower is basically 2 kinds. One is like a wheel. One is more like we call it dancing, flying, dancing. Spider. Okay, good. Spider. Thank you. Yeah, spider kind of or wheel kind. Spider kind is what I like. Wheel kind is like a daisy.
Yes, I agree.
You're looking for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Which is the one
Thank you.
like the football.
That's the, what do you call it, wheel? And the Fuji or the spider.
Yeah, let me do both of them.
Okay, so that's
Yeah, for the smaller one, we would use that. Normally, I just do one wheel. So you have let's do that trick again. So you can use white to begin with, dot the center. I think you do it afterwards sometimes. But I think it's maybe good to do it. So now you use blue or purple. I just make it blue. This is the first wheel. This wild chrysanthemum is small, so you just do it like that, and then you can accent with the darker blue later, just like adding another color later. This is a flower. Then you wash the background with yellow amber, right? So you can do a side view like that, or half side, or like a half bloom, or let me see. Just try to make another group. So side view. You can start to the center. It's very important to keep all the petals pointing to the imaginative center, right? You don't have to dot to that, but keep that in mind. When we wait that dry. So the sequence is flower and then the leaf, right? Leaf is black, and because the leaf is in the autumn season, the last flower, so they are withered and dry. So not in the not as in the spotlight of this painting, so they become secondary. Not like the peony or other leaves, they may play more important roles. So just like a few leaves left, few groups. This is a white orchid. I will use more color later to indicate the center. You can make the French ultramarine, or you can use indigo, or first grade of mineral blue to add the accent.
Why black leaf?
Oh, just the autumn season, because
The frost has come.
yeah, frost just come. They start to. You see, I curled a little bit, just kind of dried that kind of. So let me do a bigger one. So you can use a small whistle brush or any liner. I think it's good for the spider. So you we can use a little gray kind of. You can make your own gray. Maybe just a little yellow with whatever color you got. Just make a light. It's nice. Just very light ink. You can have a little tone, blue or amber or yellow, whatever. And you do it like orchid flowers. We have this kind of gesture, right? Similar to orchid flowers, it has a gesture. The flower is like dancing.
It has a message.
Meaning.
Yeah.
So you kind of draw the hand like that. One wheel, but not this time. We vary the length, and if you study botanically, the petal is actually individual flowers, so they do not close on end. The flower, this little flower, even you can see the tube, and there's a stamen inside. That's kind of tube petal. So we leave in painting. We said we leave space. We let the spirit travel. So the end is open, and you might say which direction go from outside in is the general principle, but I don't turn my hand like that, so I just go with the natural way. Natural way is what? Left side from outside in. The right side inside out. Right? You see? I used to do this with pencil. You can sketch the real flower or a photograph. It's very fun to do. You can practice this without using the brush. So that's why I really, when I have a boring class in high school, I always do this. I just do it on notebook. Yeah. Because the cover of a notebook has a picture on it, like my lecture notebook has a picture of a chrysanthemum. So I did the whole semester. That's how I learned. I still remember that. So anytime you spend helps in the end. So this is one major one, is we call the host, and then we have a guest, maybe a half bloom. You can hold the brush higher if you want. It's really doesn't matter as long as you feel you have control. So some long, some short. It's good. And pay attention on the whole gesture, like your fingers. And you can make it less defined than the first one. And you can even reinstate some of that with the darker ink if you need, with the center. And anyway, that's and we have the butt. Right? Sometimes you have the thumb up, like that, and a little finger. So this is the idea. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay. So just like a hand, you can't, like a hand gesture, sign language.
Picking opera.
Kick opera, yeah, exactly.
The hands tell you messages.
Yeah, now let's use some green. So because this is a main flower, we can make it more colorful, right? So we can use a little. Okay, let's clean this up. I like the green ready-made. It's easier to use, right? So you can use some green with ink to mutate. On rice paper is okay, but not on other paper, maybe with ink in the watercolor. Right. So you textbook says you do the stem first. I like to do the leaves because you don't have to do the stem behind. Right? So I do it in 5 strokes. Mature leaves has 5 strokes, with 4 notches. That's the classic way. But you don't really confident. Maybe one is enough. The other is like a side view or hidden behind that kind of. But you leave some space to suggest the characteristic of the orchid leaf is a notched, deep notch on this. It's not like a peony. So you do it in several strokes, not just one stroke, or 2, 3 strokes, 5. Just overlapping them. Yeah. So lobes. Okay, yeah. That's the term. Okay. Earlobes. Oh, I keep learning the term. Okay. You can use a little brown color for the stem, I think. So just like that. And there are some other characteristics my teacher told me, like the little fuzzy leaves around the joints where the main leaves come from, and the top leaves is just a 1 or 2 lobes. Okay, and you can squeeze out the petals, negative painting, the main flowers here. You can add more flowers if needed. The other thing we can add is like rock, and like Chinese scholars rock. You can do it with orchid also. So it's like your if you're a Chinese chef, you have the same ingredients of this or that, but you kind of compose it to create your own recipe. One of the most important things is to make sure you start from 1, 2, 3, not from the corners or the middle, and your main focus is on the quarters, the 1/3, and that kind of general principles. We can draw some little rock some major rock. On this side. And you have a same like a X cut. You shade one side. And just dry up all the brush. Use the bottom of the brush sometimes to get the rough texture. Let's wash the color now.
I can see how your brushes wear out.
Okay, yeah. That's a bad habit. But it's a soft padding. That's why if you use this brush, like your expensive sable brush on watercolor paper with teeth, you ruin it in 1 week. But with this paper, with the padding soft felt, it should be okay. You can still use the old brush, like that.
Well, we know where to get more.
Okay, that's. Let me just get some orange color to wash it. And the washing stroke is, stroke, not washing, right? You still paint it like you do with moku.
Follow the stroke.
Yeah, follow the stroke, but not exactly repeat. You leave some highlight, like a white, like highlight. Yeah. So that's the idea. You can leave some white. You can go outside, just kind of twist it a little bit.
You sure make it look easy.
Okay, it is. Orange here.
After you've done 5,000.
Okay, yeah. Another thing is to do the back. Just do the back with a little brown color, very heavy color. Oops, that's too brown. Yeah, it's on the back, so it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's on the back. If it, I think it's this spotty. Take it up. So let's turn it over. Yeah, that's the. Usually I would do the veins. If it's calligraphic already, you just keep it bonus. All you do is a little. Don't do every. The Ming style, like Xu Wei, he used very fine stroke. When it's dry, he added. So it's very fine, but not a fine line. You do it in a calligraphic way, upside down, like that. Okay, just yeah. I try not to finish all.
You couldn't say this.
Okay, so this is just keep it fine, thin, so you will not destroy the calligraphic field underneath the underpaint, the first paint layer. You can also do that, but since it's already calligraphic, you don't have to do that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, for Western paint, you might think we need the background, but for Chinese it's done. We can add bees, some like what do you call it? Crickets?
The bees for you. She's really got the bees down.
I think for this crickets or some autumn bugs, some maybe dragon.
No, that's water. Oh, that's
a grasshopper.
Grasshopper.
Oh, praying mantis.
Praying mantis.
Insect is very lifelike. So we need to make it look like real. So, but it's done with calligraphy also. The praying mantis, the eye, and the neck. Just one stroke, right? The back is flying white, and the neck. where it stands. It's flying. Okay, let's try to. It stands in the on this long leg, and see that's where it stands. And this just like to catching something. So I feel I become the bug. So like I can feel his move, his power.
He's coming after something.
Yeah, he's coming after something. That's the idea. So he.
The she is more vicious.
No, I thought I had a pair that stayed at my garden all summer. Does that happen? The same ones? I don't know. I felt like it was the same one.
So
not in Florida.
Ideal writing, you have to get the idea, like Victoria was talking about. You start with the idea. If you have the mood, fighting mood, or you can express yourself through the bud, the flower, even the birds and that kind of. So that's the idea of brush painting. So you have to get this idea in mind. Okay, the transparent view. I think we can use the best brush for antenna is this red whisker brush. Red whisker brush. Is a rat tail or rat whisker hair. So let's just use dark ink. So I can easily paint this like that. Very long lines. You can even paint. Kind of hard to make it up. Let's see. We need a little bit green to fix that. Hard to blend the same color. Just make it a little bit. Let's see. What do you call the X kind of arm? Right now. Finding tool. Rapid. Okay, let's see. I can dot the eye. It's not dark enough. We can use a small brush. My glasses. That's it. Okay, let's sign it. To finish, you can.
Now, what kind of a message for this?
Autumn. Autumn, yeah. Just.
Your days are numbered, bud.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I like that.
So.
Let's get to the point.
Yeah, actually, there's a Chinese rebellion leader wrote a poem in Tang Dynasty saying, after when I bloom, all the 100 flowers are dead.
Yeah.
Something, killed, dead. Yeah, so that's the kind of
Finality.
Right, just a short signature. Okay, you can put a year, I think so. I put a year. Dark, yeah. Okay, then the seal. Now, let me seal it later. Just take a look at the painting first. Thank you. And see if we can finish this one. It's still wet. Yeah.
Florida humidity.
Yeah. So maybe some boat tomorrow, or when we we still have half an hour. So if we have a minute, I can add before we go. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody on YouTube, on Facebook also. Thank you. Here. Yeah, you can practice more tomorrow, and we'll learn water birds.
Great.
Thanks for watching. Bye bye.